This is a video critique for Indradri Sekhar Das. I'm sorry if I murdered your name, but okay. So the first thing that I see right off the bat that I would work on fixing is fix your angles up a little bit more. And so what I mean by that is looking at the center of the nose here. I'm just gonna kind of center that over, and then eyelid to eyelid to eyebrow. Um, there's a lot of areas that are completely off. The mouth is a little bit crooked, and so fixing those things are going to help out a little bit more. The thing, so I would do, just simply, and it's okay to have a little bit of distortion, but if it gets too much, you kind of notice it right off the bat. So I would probably move this one down and over a little bit more. I think your eyes are a wee bit too close together. So I would kind of fix that like so. And without looking at reference, I can't really tell that. So I'm guesstimating here. And then let's see here. Let's straighten out the mouth a little bit more. And I would almost widen the mouth. And then what I would do is, let's blend that back in. And then what I would do is, your face is a little bit non-symmetrical. And so what I mean by that is going in here, looking at this from a symmetrical aspect, here to here, there is, especially in this angle here, I should be able to, let me erase this real quick here, just so it can work. All right, so if your eyelids are, or your ears are over here, your ears would be placed higher, and then the nose would be something like that. So I look at this, and then I'm going to draw one side here, the way you got it. Okay, and then let's just transform this and flip it horizontally, and you can kind of see there's just subtle differences, and that you kind of want to fix in that aspect too. Um, you know, the jaw is just a little bit offset, so I would kind of clean that up, and what I would do is probably move your ears up. So let's just grab the ears. And bring those up just a hair. And oops, let's grab that and put that in there. And then I would kind of clean up your jawline. And I think that's really what you're looking at. Like your jawline is just too, and I think it's the ear too. Let's grab this ear again, and that way we can go here. Let's clean up this jawline just a hair so that it kind of evens out. And I would almost tell you the neck on this side needs to be a little bit bigger. Like so. And then you want to put more form in the hair, especially up here. It gets really dark really fast. So you probably want to just add a little bit more depth to the hair as an overall form. And I'm using the wrong color here, but you can kind of pop some of that out a little bit more. And then watch your color source, because your eye right here is getting really, really bright. And I would almost darken that up with some of your cool shadows here. Not that much so you look like you have a black eye, but then you're going to kind of put in a little bit more of that selling feature in there. A little bit more of the darks, and I would almost make the eyes a little bit bigger I think the iris, looking at what I'm seeing here, I think this would be something like that. You know, and I think that that gives them a little bit more humanistic aspect. And then the skin is really painted smooth, especially since you've got um, the the beard and stuff in there. So what I would tell you to do is I would go in and I would use a let's see here, what do you got? If you do a search, these are the oops. Let me just find them here. The Staval brushes, and what they are is they're basically just some pores, and you can make them yourself. They're nothing fancy, but you go in there and just simply, and I probably do this on a new layer so it doesn't get, but you can go in and add in, you know, pores in the nose, you know, little bits of depth here, and you see how just it's very subtle, but you see how that very subtle texture is adding a lot more depth in there. And I'm just kind of scribbling this in there, um, like so. And in the dark areas, it's not as subtle, but you can still put that in there. Um, and that was a little bit too dark. And then, you know, go in and add in a little bit more depth, and that adds a lot more realism in there. And that's what I would tell you to do as far as, oops, that's not, that's something else. That's a wrinkle brush. Um, but I would add that in there, and that's going to really kind of help you, you know, get a little bit more depth, a little bit more interest in there. Um, and so I'm just going to merge that layer. So the difference between the two now is a little bit more, oops, a little bit more of that, you know, that brush has actually got to be, you know, played with and so on and so forth. But you get the idea. Um, you can really get some nice texture going on in there. And again, I don't have the photo reference to work off of, but evening up some of that stuff is going to help out a little bit. All right.